lot more to talk about.
Rahul.
How do people perceive the economy will fare from here? Will the situation improve in 6 months or get worse? 41% of the respondents think that the economic situation is likely going to improve. 17% say it will worsen. 36% say it will stay the same. Has there been a status change because of the government's economic relief measures in the context of the COVID pandemic? 35%, and this is very, very significant. Of all of what you've seen, this is one of the most key, that 1 in 3 respondents feel that their economic status has improved because of these relief measures. So without those relief measures, they were likely worse off than they are right now in the middle of a pandemic, which, Rajdeep, is what explains why people feel the way that they do. That is the direct benefit transfer, the various other relief measures which are going to them, which they feel is putting them in a better place position than they would have been if they were working themselves.
If not better, when you look at it, 35% are saying improved, 20% are saying worsened, same is 43. So you add 43 and 35, that's 78%. And I think that explains in a way this dichotomy. 78%, particularly those below a certain poverty line, have benefited through the direct cash transfers, either by getting the cash they were earlier getting or getting some of the benefits that the government announced post-pandemic. And I think that, in a way, might explain it. But then you could look at that last number. Has the government done enough to control inflation? And this again staggers me, because 55% are saying yes, no is 35%. The reason I'm saying is that because there is a clear indication in recent months.
No, the consumer price index is going up very substantially.
Going up. So as is being suggested, petrol prices could well reach 3 figures. So there is a concern in some of these numbers.
It's just that people love the Prime Minister and the government so much that they think he's doing a great job. Gurcharan Das, could it just be that they're so much in awe of or in support of the Prime Minister and his government, that take, for example, on the issue of inflation, where petrol prices are at a record high, we've seen fruit and vegetable prices spike as well, pulses prices spike. People think that the government, if this was any other government and petrol prices were where they were, the opposition would be on the streets. Jaitley, Sushma would have been on the streets against Manmohan Singh. Here we haven't had the Congress protesting as much, just making some noises on Twitter but not on the ground. And you've got people thinking that on inflation the government's doing well.
Well, you have a good point. I think that there is a halo around this Prime Minister. And what is surprising is that we've had, the Prime Minister promised in 2014, Vikas, Sabka Saath, and all that. And Vikas was a code word for jobs. And jobs, clearly, whether you see the CMI data or other data, jobs have not come. And as pointed out earlier, the reality is that the economy had gone down from 8% down to 4% even before this pandemic. And that was a loss, that's a huge loss.
So what explains it? So then what explains these relatively decent numbers?
But, it could be the halo effect also of the toilet program, of receiving gas, cooking gas. There's a lot of positive feeling. I've read some surveys where people feel, and now this drinking water mission, they are really having an impact on people's lives.
No, it is, but it also alludes to the failure of the opposition, Supriya Shrinate. If petrol and diesel are at all-time highs and you can't create public support on this issue, because apart from tweeting you've done very little, then what would you get the government on? If your party was in government, BJP was in the opposition, they'd be taking to the streets every day doing Bharat Bandhs on the issue of rising petrol and diesel prices. Supriya?
So I'm going to answer your question, but I will definitely say that data points us in a very different direction. I don't know how these people are saying they're satisfied with the economic performance according to your survey, because data is telling us that inflation, due to inflation, people are forced to dip into their savings. I mean, I hope everybody knows here 30,000 crore worth of money has been pulled out from PF, from Provident Fund. So I don't know who are these happy salaried souls who are saying everything is good with the Indian economy. As far as food inflation is concerned, at levels of 11%, it is unacceptable. And I refute the charge that the opposition is not doing enough. Where I will point you in the direction is that the government is either thick-skinned or totally shameless. 23 times excise duty has gone up 48% hike in excise collection, and the common man is willing to pay 100 rupees for petrol and is being forced to pay so. So what kind of government are they? Are they deaf to the kind of protests? Are they deaf to common man's problems? I don't know.
Okay, now,
and, we were
before we
talking
end
about
this
big
segment of
businesses.
the-
Look at the monopolies.
Before we end
No,
this
look
segment,
at the monopolies this government has created, benefiting big business. Whether it is telecom, whether it is retail, whether it is mining. You look at airports.